come to change the gang up and get stuff, I'm going to put the options that I was thinking about, and maybe even one or two that I hadn't planned on doing. But depending on how you guys vote in the comments below will change the destiny of the gang. So I'm kind of at your guys' mercy, where everybody else will get to determine what happens with their gang. You guys are going to determine my gang. That way if things go bad, I can blame you guys. It's your fault! We start with a leader, and he has a pretty reliable gun, so when ammo checks come up, he's more than likely going to pass them. Then we start with one heavy, and for those of you who don't know, necromunda can have up to 2 heavies. They hold the big guns, you know, kind of like in a Space Marine army or squad. You know, one guy has the big weapon, same principle. Now, they can't move and shoot their big gun, so I always equip them with some sort of pistol. That way, if they move, they still have some sort of firearm. Now, they might be out of range and not be able to shoot, but if somebody's close, they can. Because sometimes you gotta sacrifice a turn of shooting to be able to get into a better position. So I always give them a second weapon. Then we get 2 gangers with basic equipment and a juve, and he is equipped just like the gangers. Now, there's like 2 or 3 different ways I thought about it, because like I said, we didn't start with $1,000. $475 is put in our stash when we start. That's the rest of the $1,000, and you don't get to spend that till after your first fight. I've had 2 fights, so I'm a little bit behind, but it's now time to expand my gang if I'm going to. One thought was to add another heavy, so I would have 2 big weapons, which at times can be very beneficial, because our heavies have the guns that can fire the farthest. That was one thought, because there's 475. I could equip a heavy and maybe even have enough for a juve or 2, maybe, but I don't want to spend every dime I've got. I want to have a little bit of a stash of cash just in case something comes up, in case somebody dies or they have to be replaced or whatever. So I don't want to spend every dime I've got. But that was one thought, was to have an extra heavy. I'm not really a big fan of that thought, but it's one of the options, depending on what you guys say. If you guys say, yeah, grab another one, that's what I'll do. The other thought was I could get a bunch of Jews. Jews are cheap, and a ganger, if you're considering a gang, they're like a prospect. They're the guys that they're not that good. Their shooting is lousy. It's one of the worst with the worst ballistic skill you can start with. But they're cheap. I can get 2 Jews for what 1 ganger would cost. And my juve is almost a ganger, the one I started with. So, and he's got some good upgrades so far. He's got an extra wound and an extra toughness. So he's actually the toughest guy in the fucking gang. He can take a licking. A lot better than anybody else in the gang. Hell, he's better than the leader. So I can grab a few juves. That would give me a lot of extra shots. Granted, it wouldn't be very good shots, but you get enough lead flying in the air and somebody's going to get hit. Concept, anyway. And with my juve getting ready to become a ganger, that would give me 3 gangers, and then however many juves I picked up, I'd figure like 3 or 4. Another thought is I could get a few more gangers. You know, maybe 2, maybe 3. Now, gangers, you need gangers to make money. After your battle, you can work your properties. We only start with 1 property. I've got to fight to get a base, place to hang out. Once I do that, I'll get a couple more properties, so that would give me 3. I have 3 gangers right now, so one could work each property. But if one's hurt in the fight, he's not able to work the property. So that's why I was thinking get a couple more gangers. I mean, I don't have the properties yet. I still have to fight the battle to get the properties. But as soon as I get them, I'd have the gangers to work them. That means more money coming in. So it would be nice to have a few extra gangers. But then again, I get twice as many juves as gangers. And eventually, they get up to gang status 3 or 4 battles. So then I would have more than enough gangers to work the properties. So, you know, it's one of the balances. Do I get a heavy shooter, grab another heavy? Do I grab a couple gangers? Or do I get a bunch of juves and go for the long haul? So those are the 3 options. We're going to be putting up 4. Those are the 3 options I'm thinking of. So in the comment section below, I want you guys to tell me how the gang should go, how it should develop. Your fate, or my fate, is in your hands. I guess this is how we can say it. So go check out the blog. See what the rules are so far. As we go on, more and more rules will be added as we come up with different things. Any conditions that are going on will be in there. Like there is one of the in the Orlok territory, one of the furnaces exploded, so half of the neutral territory where we're fighting is covered in smoke. Before the battle for this next week, before we fight, we have to roll to see if we're fighting in an area with smoke. If so, our range is cut in half. You know, if we could shoot like 1 to 20 short range, now it'd be 1 to 10 because of all the smoke. You can't see as far. And conditions will change, and so, like I said, there's going to be a whole storyline develop. So go check out the blog, and then in the comments below, tell me how the gang should develop. Cool? Alright, guys.